Hey, welcome. So, getting a home appraisal is one of those crucial steps in any real estate deal. But let's be real, sometimes you need it done fast. Today, we're going to dive into how you can get a quick but still super accurate home valuation right here in Fayetteville.
Whether you're about to put your house on the market, you're looking to refinance, or maybe you're settling in a state, you know that a professional appraisal is an absolute must-have. And sometimes you don't just need it done right, you need it done, like, now.
Okay, so before we jump into finding the speediest service around, let's just do a quick refresher on what a home appraisal actually is.
At its heart, it's a professional, totally unbiased opinion on what your home is actually worth in today's market. This isn't just a wild guess, It's a calculated value based on the condition of your home, its size, where it's located, and, this is a big one, what similar houses nearby have sold for recently.
And listen, this valuation isn't just some formality or a box you have to check off. Nope, it's actually a critical piece of the puzzle for a bunch of major financial decisions. Let's run through the most common reasons you need one.
An appraisal really does wear a lot of hats. For a lender, it's all about protecting their investment, making sure the house is worth the money they're lending. For sellers and buyers, it's about making sure the price is fair for everybody. And in more complicated stuff like estate settlements, it gives you a solid, documented number that just makes everything simpler. The bottom line, it provides an objective value that everyone involved can actually trust.
Okay, so you know you need one. You know why it's so important. But what actually happens when the appraiser shows up at your door? Let's break down the whole process so there are absolutely no surprises.
It's a pretty methodical four-step deal. First, the appraiser does a complete inspection, checking out everything from the foundation all the way up to the roof. Then, they get into the documentation phase, measuring the square footage, noting any special features or cool upgrades you've made. After they leave your house, they hit the books, researching recent sales of homes like yours in the neighborhood. All of that hard work gets bundled into a detailed final report that gives you that all-important number and all the data that backs it up.
Now, for a totally standard appraisal here in Fayetteville, you're usually looking at a turnaround time of about 3 to 7 business days, from the moment they start to when you get the report.
And look, that timeline is perfectly fine for a lot of situations. But what happens when your deal is on a really tight schedule? What do you do when you just can't afford to wait a whole week?
This, right here, is where finding a dedicated local service can be a total game changer. For instance, let's take a look at what a company like Eagle Home Appraisal, which really zeroes in on the Fayetteville area, brings to the table to speed this whole thing up.
When you're trying to find a fast appraiser, these are the kinds of things you want to see. Certified pros give you that peace of mind, and that specific local expertise, that means they get the little quirks and trends of Fayetteville's different neighborhoods. But most importantly, a promise of a fast turnaround that doesn't sacrifice accuracy, well, that's the holy grail when you're on a deadline.
Now, to help the whole process run like a well-oiled machine and to make sure you get the most accurate value possible, there are a few simple things you can do to get your home ready.
Seriously, none of this is rocket science, but it makes a huge difference. Just think of it like you're putting your home's best foot forward. A clean space just presents better, Be ready to point out any of those big-ticket upgrades you've done recently. And hey, if you've got the receipts, have them handy. And finally, just make sure the appraiser can get into every nook and cranny they need to.
So, if you're ready to get the ball rolling, the whole process is usually super straightforward. Let's look at the final steps to getting that official report right in your hands.
It really just boils down to 4 simple steps. It all kicks off with that first contact, either a phone call or a visit to their website. You'll give them some basic info about your property, you'll schedule a time that works for you, and then, before you know it, you'll get your detailed report within that agreed-upon time frame. Easy as that.
So, whether you're selling, refinancing, or you're just plain curious, getting a fast and accurate home appraisal in Fayetteville is absolutely achievable. By understanding how it works and knowing what to look for in a local pro, you can get the valuation you need on your schedule. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other parts of the whole real estate process could be made easier with the right local expert in your corner?